It's kind of insane right now. I'll be scrolling through YouTube and I'll just see video after video in one way or another hating on hustle culture. Like, I have to dig into some pretty obscure YouTube channels to find things that kind of support the way I feel. Hate for it is just everywhere right now. Quiet quitting, rest is productive, burnout content, all this sort of shit just absolutely seems to be dominating the conversation right now. And I really disagree. You know, I'll give the opposite view their flowers. Overwork is definitely a real thing. Burnout is a real thing, and toxic grind culture exists for sure. But I think that's more of a mutation of something that is a genuinely very good message. I absolutely know that it's possible to be working hard just because you feel like you have to, or because you do literally have to just to survive and get by. Or maybe you're completely just like, you know, you're disillusioned with the world and you don't even see a point like to doing any of it, which I completely fucking understand, and I feel that. But I don't think the response to that like genuine toxic overworking culture is to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I understand that like that pointless kind of hustle that's constant and like even to get rich at any cost through sheer will and grit and determination and absolutely wrecking yourself working and never seeing family and never making memories and just beating yourself to shit and burning yourself the fuck out in the service of just getting rich for the sake of getting rich. That is definitely toxic. You know, I think if you're an individual where that does bring you meaning, by all means. I'm not hating. I'm just saying that like I believe for the vast majority of human beings on earth, they're wired to crave something a little bit deeper than that and a little bit more meaningful. But I do think it would be an incorrect response to throw the baby out with the bathwater on this one. I think there is a correct way to do hustle culture, which would be beneficial and very helpful. There is basically a good middle ground here that we can find. The actual problem, it's not hustle, it's just hustle without any purpose, no end point, no self-ownership. The hate misdirects people away from the one window in their life where effort compounds the hardest. I think we just have to really nail down what a productive hustle culture looks like, because I think it's highly beneficial to have what is a culture of hardworking people working hard for very valuable and good, deep, meaningful reasons. What do we want most as people? We want to live deep and meaningful lives, most of us. Sure, some of us are just hedonic and just want to chase pleasures. If that's you, I'm not hating, but I think for the vast majority of people, that's just not the case. I think for most of us, we want deep relationships, we want a sense of community, we want security, we want to experience life, have adventures, and make love, take pictures and paint cats and do all sorts of fun things like that. But I think to achieve that, you first have to achieve security, because otherwise you can achieve all those other things I listed and it could all be wiped out in an instant. If you don't feel enormously anxious about losing the chance to live a deep and fulfilling life the way I just described it, I think if you don't have the anxiety of losing that, then I think you need to think very deeply about the state of the world and how people's lives can go, because it's a sad reality. So bearing in mind the things that we most deeply value, for most of us, you should be working hard to achieve that security so that you can enjoy those things fully. You owe it to yourself and to your family and to the ones around you to put yourself in that secure position of having the required money and the required safety and the required skills and people around you to just lock yourself into a path where you will live your life fully and deeply. And that's the issue with toxic hustle culture. They don't fully explain the vision that you should have for why you're working so hard in the first place. It's not just about having fast cars, a really nice house, and, you know, escaping the societal structure that we've been forced into. Although those things are absolutely cool to have, it's so far from the full picture. The other big piece of the puzzle that toxic hustle culture misses in its messaging is just that, like, working hard is to an extent its own reward as well. I think it is innately beneficial to mold yourself into a hard worker, to someone who is capable of working hard and doing so over a long period of time, whether they like it or not. I think if you don't develop that trait, then you're going to be a pretty shitty parent, I would say. We have to be hard workers to usher in a reasonable next generation, but it's also just good to be hardworking, because at the end of a day, do you want to feel like you've accomplished nothing? Would you rather finish work and say, man, that was shit, but at least I really tried? Or would you be cool with finishing up and being like, fuck, that day was shit, I gained nothing from that, barely tried, it was completely boring? Which person would you rather be? Because I can tell you, for me at least, when I get home from work and I've just given it my best, like, I feel spent, but I feel happy to know that I tried really hard. I think rest periods are best enjoyed when they're earned. When I rest, if I haven't earned it, I feel like a piece of shit. If I have earned it, then it's actually restful, and I can enter into that state of deep rest, and it's actually nice. And being a hard worker also positions you for more success as well. When you're seen to be a hard worker, when you have positive outcomes, when you're actively contributing at a greater volume and a greater quality than most people, then money's going to find you more easily, because you are a rarer resource in the world. Like, there are not very many hard workers. I've not been managing for a long time, but I've been managing long enough to know that hard workers are really hard to come by. They're really rare. And when I say hard working, I don't mean just like physically breaking your back, working up a sweat, to do your job. In many cases, that is absolutely part of it. But when I say hardworking, I mean contemplating solutions, working through problems, rooting out inefficiencies in your job in one form or another. Even like when you're off the clock, like, and even when you don't want to, even when you don't have to but don't want to, just always, putting your mind to work and doing it, intentionally, even when it's not comfortable. It's just doing the things that most people wouldn't do, because they would consider it too much. And I could absolutely be wrong, but you tell me if, being a hardworking person just doesn't innately appeal to you. But I think deep down, most of us want that for ourselves. If you were lucky enough to grow up with your dad in the picture, or even, if you were really lucky raising you, and he happened to also be a hardworking man, you can't tell me that you don't want to emulate that you don't want to be that for someone else, or that you don't want to just have that strength within you as well. Like, you can't help but admire that in people. And good hustle isn't just like performing well at work and solving problems for work when you're, not at work, or when you don't have to at work or whatever. It's also about solving your own problems even when you don't have to, solving future use problems, and establishing good habits and good investing habits just to support your future self. You should be lifting weights, you should be getting your cardio in, you should be eating healthy, you should be getting your protein in, you should be practicing some mindfulness, you should be doing a little bit outside of work, not just working on yourself like your innate qualities, but you should also be building things for yourself, whether that be working on other projects, side hustles, building relationships, helping other people. You should be doing things outside of work as well that take hard work. This is another huge reason that I didn't really get to cover in my last video, that I think you should be investing very aggressively when you're young, but even just in general, you should be investing very aggressively. And you might say like, oh, what about someone who's retired? Should they be investing aggressively? Yes, they should just be investing in different things. They should be investing more so directly into themselves and their own experiences and enjoyment, and like health and future security for old age and that sort of thing. But they should absolutely be investing aggressively. There is no reason not to, especially with cost of living, like the house prices and like the way our super funds are. Like, if there was ever a time where Australians needed to be intentional and working hard early, it's now. But anyway, this one might be a little bit of a shorter one, but I hope you guys get value out of this, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.